Today we want to talk about the ability to be able to read any music or any song if you find a script without even knowing the song before. You see, skills are very, very important to humanity, especially when you do them well and when you can actually show that you have what it takes to perform in the line that you identify with, especially when it comes to music. I'm talking about music here, I'm focusing on music definitely. Anyways, it applies to every kind of skill. But in music, the uniqueness is about being able to follow beats, understanding time, and then the key, and identifying your key, and also being able to know your time signature. I want to welcome you to this video today. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and as usual, I want to tell you, please share this because we're going to be saying lots of things here. I'll be saying lots of things that will help benefit musicians all over the world. We want to find simple ways of being able to identify music keys and also being able to understand music time signatures. So it's important that you share this on all your social media platforms. At the same time, send it to the people you also want to benefit from this. You also please like the video, send your comments, send your questions. I'm ready to answer them. Any question, then please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. This is very important for us to really look at because we have lots of people who claim to be singers or singing in their respective denominations and singing wherever you are practicing your music skills, or wherever you are presenting or carrying out performances anyways concerning music. It is important that you know some basic things that will help you stand out in all you do, and these are the things that I want to express and talk about today. This is Music Vectors Show, and I want to welcome you especially to this video. As you watch, please be prepared to practice the things you hear. I might not be able to give you the full details of the things, maybe do some real practice with you. Here is to sensitize you and help you, and then if you want special classes, you can contact me with the number on the screen, and we can talk about it and you can learn more. I can give you critical steps to follow to get this. Now, one important skill that any musician or any singer should acquire is the skill of identifying music keys, even without any music instruments around. It is very difficult. Not everybody can do that. In fact, it is very rare to find musicians who can do that. I have been able to train myself to that extent, but it's important that you understand it is a very possible skill if only you can just tell yourself you can do it. But aside that, before you do that, first of all, you must be able to identify music notes when you hear any song. Remember, what I am trying to do here is to help you to be able to identify music notes or scores and then sing them when you find the script, even without knowing the song before. It is possible, very possible. You can hold a music script and read the music even without knowing the song before. People who are experienced musicians do that. And even if you are not an experienced musician, or you're just a singer, or you're just a singer in your church or wherever you are singing, you also can learn that skill. You don't need to go to a music school to learn that skill. You can learn it on your own. Thank God for social media or platforms to open up on the internet to get many information that you can get. But the problem is that we're always lazy. When it was the time, when those days of books, people are lazy to read. This time of the internet, people are really lazy to find out information. They want to go to comedy and other things that will make them laugh. Anyways, you'll keep wasting your data. It's good to laugh. I'm not saying you shouldn't if you have the data to do that. But I think at least most of your data should be for things that will benefit you and help you to stand out in whatever you're doing. Now look at this. Do, re, mi. Some of us can sing it. Even when we sing it like that, we might not be able to even place the notes rightly with the tune. Some of us just sing it and we don't take cognizance of the notes in connection with or in tandem with the tunes. You can say do, re, mi, fa, sol, but you might not be saying it on the tune, the right tune. You know, we have people that I've heard people say do re mi. I remember a place where I went to teach the music. You know, I've been to several places, especially churches, to train their choirs. And when I came, I discovered that the music director has a very lovely voice and all of that. I listen to him do what he has to do, but he cannot really tell what he's singing and tell the notes of what he's singing. In fact, simple, just the tonic softwares, as simple as they are, he will still ask the keyboard, what note is that? You know, what sound is that? And they'll say, what sound is that? You know, and the keyboard is now also touch and find it. They are playing the keyboard, but they cannot tell from just without touching the music instrument, tell you the notes they are playing. You know, they have to touch the music instrument to know the notes they are playing. You have not been able to do that for major scales. What about when you go on minor scales, or you go to pentatonic and all those, you know, complex and scales that you'll be talking about? How then would you deal with the situation? But anyways, you start from somewhere, and that is, of course, the regular tonic solfa or the diatonic scale. You know, even if we have the chromatic will help you understand some stuff, but you begin with the diatonic, because diatonic is very simple. It's just the do re mi fa sol la ti do stuff. It will help you, you know, octave by octave by octave, like that. So anyways, we'll be taking them step by step. Now I want you to understand this. It is important that you know music sounds, you know, and know the notes that they represent, because it will help you to quickly stand out, especially when they say those who know these things should come out. You also can come out and prove what you can do. It is important. It is not just good alone. It's not just alone for you to have fine voice. When they hear your voice, they say, wow, wonderful. How can you defend what you are singing? How can you be different from the person who is singing out there? And as someone who is dedicated, or especially calling yourself a professional singer or an experienced singer, or someone who is carrying it or taking it as a career, how do you stand out from the person who is out there who is doing it just the way they're doing it? But first, before you begin to get to the level of being able to sight sing, I'm talking about sight singing now. Now remember, there's a difference between sight singing and sight reading. Sight reading is a general, it's a broad spectrum approach to music, while sight singing is specific for singing. You know, specializing on just singing on, especially if you're a singer. So it's for those who are singers, the sight singing. And sight singing begins with, first of all, being able to identify tonic softwares, staff notations, and all of that. And you must begin first with understanding how to place the notes, the diatonic notes, or the notes that make up the diatonic scale on the right tunes, under the right key. You must, if you are not able to first of all begin to understand what key sounds like what key, just relax yourself. First get to understand the diatonic scale, which is also the tonic solfa, and get it right on the right tunes. Even if you have not yet known the key, but first get it. Now it is very, very important that you practice that. If you want to be guided on how to do these things, you can contact me and I'll teach you. My fees are very low, they're not high. I might try to be moderate, so that I can impact knowledge as much as, but of course, that when you pay for something, when you purchase it, you definitely would appreciate it. I've been, I remember when I started playing the bass guitar, the bass guitar I began playing the bass guitar in 1994, playing it effectively, and 93, 94, I began to play the bass guitar. I remember when I began to teach people, people around me who were, saying they want to learn. Oh, they see you excited, see you holding the guitar, and they want to learn. And you now begin to, okay, I'll teach you. You begin to teach them, and then they take it for granted because they didn't pay for it. They come today, you tell them to come for classes, the next day you don't see them, then they have flimsy excuses to give you, because they didn't pay for it. So you keep wasting your time. But when they pay for it, they know that any lesson they miss, they have lost that time. And if that time goes, they're going to pay for the next one to get the next lesson. So that's what happens. So it is very, very important to get Christ himself shed his blood. It was a very expensive price to pay just to make us back, bring us back to God. So I want you to understand that the tonic solfa is very, very important. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Very important on how you place it on the right tunes. And then from there you begin to look at. Now, most of you have seen music manuscripts. Once you see them, you just throw them somewhere. In fact, most musicians today are very lazy. In fact, this generation is the laziest, should I say so? The laziest generation I've ever, in music. Every song they do in choirs these days, very lazy. Just want to have it easy way. Just want to have it in a very simple way. Nobody's talking about those technicals, those things that people like Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, many of these musicians, were applying those days. Hezekiah Walker and different, people like J. Moss and lots of them like that. I don't know why their names are skipping my mind. Very technical musicians who are doing technical things. Marvin Sapp and so many of them like that. So these days people want to do simple songs. I don't want to call names, so people are gonna say I'm just disregarding some other people. But the truth here is that these days singers don't want to really work. They don't want to really practice. Just have the nice voice. Just sequence some stuff using apps that give you some pre-arranged stuff. And then nobody wants to do live programming, or live recordings. Just want to have the program stuff and just give us the stuff. Use the keyboard, sequence everything, give them drum beats and all of that. Even when they do that, even using the keyboard to do all of that, they can't even be very technical and professional enough to understand that you can also exude your capacity of skills even using the keyboard alone and preparing this stuff. So when you listen to the music, it's so empty, but we have to understand that it is time for us to go back to the times of knowledge. Now, to begin to read music scores, begin from understanding tonic software. Remember the other time I was telling you about voice range and voice type, and you can't get to understand all of this stuff without beginning with the tonic software. So I want to give you this exercise today, so that you can practice it on your own. Go do the tonic software, or the diatonic scale. It's also called a diatonic scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Go and do it. Rehearse it very well. Rehearse it in staccato way and in legato way. Just practice it very effectively and keep doing it. And then when you are through with that, we're going to do the next part of it. I'm going to give you the next part of it, what you need to do. And then as you keep doing this, then you'll begin to now get to understand do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, how it is represented with, aside the tonic software, yes, the tonic software notes, knowing it on the tonic software notes, and then knowing all of that on the software and staff notations. Of course, talking about the staff notations and looking at the semi-brave, looking at the crotchets, looking at the minim and all of that. So understand how the beats that go with it. Next time I'm going to be telling you about the minim, crotchets and all of that, and how you can count them, so that by the time you're able to learn this, then we now begin to go practically into how you begin to know the notes you are singing and know the key, even without the keyboard with you. The keyboard is not around, the bass guitar is not, no music equipment or instruments around, yet you can tell that this is key C, key D, key E, key F, key G, key A, key B, key C again, and all of that. You can tell all the flats, all the sharps, you can tell whatever, and the accidentals and all of that. Music is very complex but very simple if you can put your mind into it. If you no matter how your songs have gone all over the nations, if you are not inclined with the knowledge of music, you still need to do a lot of work to do that, so that it can make you stand out. And it is important that everybody should be part of this. I want to thank you for being part of this. This is the introductory stage of what we're doing. So go practice these diatonic scales or the tonic softwares. Practice them very well. Get to understand how the distinctness of each of the notes and the sound that go with them. Practice them on that, and then find a music equipment or instrument and check out the key that is comfortable with you and practices on it, and then master the key and try to see if you can remember the sound of that key, even when you have left the rehearsal place for a long time, or whether you are sleeping or you wake up the next day, to see if you can still remember that sound and still get the key right. But first of all, don't worry yourself if you're not getting it right. Step by step, we're going to get there. Just make sure you get the tunes right with the notes, so that you can move to the next step after that. We're taking it basically and to help us to get to the climax. Thank you so much. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. Please, as I said initially, send your comments, send your questions. Also, please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed, and support the channel by subscribing, and also so that YouTube will help spread our channel all over the internet. Also, like the video so that your followers and friends will know that you liked this video, and then also they will come watch it. And also share to the people you want, choir members, people around you, people you know that need this teaching. Share to them wherever they are and let them be part of this. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and God bless you real good.